Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome again to Family and Finance. My name is Rose Joshua, and today we have some of my favorite people. You are going to find out why I say this as we have this discussion, and they have taken time out of their busy schedule. I've been trying to schedule this for over 2 months, I think. About 2 months, yes. So a very busy couple. And Ashok and Maria, thank you so much for making time today to be with us.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Awesome. God bless you. So I'm really excited about today. I'm really excited about what you have to share. But before that, I'd like my readers to know a little bit about you. And then I'm going to share your Instagram page so my readers can go visit and follow you and everything you have. So please tell me a bit about yourselves.
I'll let Maria start first.
Ladies
Yeah,
first,
so
huh?
my name
Good job.
Yes.
so my name's Maria. I'm originally from Chile. That's where my parents came from. I came to Canada when I was 9 years old. So I'm kind of half Chilean, half Canadian. I went to school mostly here, and then I got my certification to work at a hospital where I take blood from patients.
Mm.
I've worked at different hospitals in town, worked with adults and children, and it was very busy time during COVID, scary time as
Mm.
well. But so yeah, so I come from the healthcare field.
Yes. Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
so for myself, this is probably going to be a bit of a shocker for everyone, but I was born and raised in Germany, and
Okay.
I was born and raised there. German is my first language. I finished high school there, came to Canada when I was 17, and the whole goal was, you were young. I wanted to see if I went, to a university in another country and
Mm.
explore my options. And so I ended up here, went and studied, got my diploma in computer technology, and worked in the IT field for a while, and then went from there to management and in operations, and also worked on businesses, led some businesses, and so just been working my way up from there. And yeah, so I'm a bit of a mix from with the European background. I've seen a lot of different things in Europe, being that I was, quite almost an adult at that point. So I've
Mm.
seen quite a bit of different things over there, and obviously things over here. And so you always see where you can improve and what things you can do.
Very interesting. I'm intrigued. So Maria, you're from Chile. So that's Spanish. You speak Spanish, right? And
Yes,
so you're in Canada. Do you speak French too?
I took it for most of high school. I was almost fluent, but then afterwards, like, I've been out of high school, not to age myself, but about what, 10 years?
Something like that.
You don't need to say
That's
exactly
a
when.
couple years. Yeah.
Few years. Yeah.
Haven't made use of it. And of course, if you don't use something, you forget it. But I think it's somewhere in the back of my brain.
It's somewhere there. When push comes to shove, it's gonna come out. That's nice. So that's
Mm.
Spanish,
Yeah.
English, French, and Ashok. So yeah, so I know your name is Ashok, and you said it's gonna be a shocker to everybody. So it's like that kind of rhymed. So you were born and raised in Germany. So you speak German?
Yes, that's my first language.
Oh yeah, yeah. German is the first language. So German, English, French.
No, I don't speak French.
So between the two
Um,
of you, there is the four languages: German, English, Spanish, French. So Ashok, like when
no,
I
there's a
see
little bit
you,
more. Yeah,
there's
because my
more.
background. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So my dad's from India,
Your dad, I was
and
gonna ask because I kind of thought
yeah,
you were East Indian. So your dad is East
yeah,
Indian. Okay.
that's why I got that nice tan.
Beautiful time.
Yeah,
Okay. So
so
do you
that's why I
speak
speak
any
Hindi.
Indian?
Yeah, so I speak Hindi and
Hindi?
Punjabi as well, and I also understand Urdu.
No way. So Hindi, Punjabi, and Urdu?
Urdu, yeah.
Nice. Urdu. Wow. So your children are gonna have a Language explosion. That's so cool.
Yes.
I'm so excited to meet you both. Okay, so before I get all carried away, let me share your Instagram page so my listeners can follow you. So Instagram, share screen. So everyone, this is Ashok and Maria's Instagram page. You can look for them by saying First Class Financial, and they have 74 followers and 173 following, and 12 posts and more coming. And I did look at your post, and I see that you have various topics that you talk about: kids, building kids' wealth, uh, estate planning. Some of it is in Spanish, which I basically can't help myself there. But talk about what is the anchor point for your Instagram page? What's the key
I mean,
message you want to?
I think it would be for anything that the family probably would need. That's the
I think for me, my favorite phrase has always been knowledge is power. And
Knowledge is
there's
power.
just so much information everywhere in social media. And my point has always been mine has always been to help two different types of people because like I said, we were immigrants coming from Chile when with my parents. So
Mhm.
laws back home are completely different than they are here. And I'm sure a
Yes.
lot of your watchers, your viewers
Mhm.
might have the same. For example, just to give you one, when somebody passes away in Chile, all your
Mhm.
debts are forgiven. It just disappears.
Oh. Oh.
So you could have somebody coming from Chile thinking that the same rules apply when you come to Canada. And unless you find that out, you are not prepared if a family member happens to pass away.
Yeah.
So I want to educate all the immigrants, like
Mhm.
I said, because um, I deal with the Spanish, a lot of Latin American countries,
Mhm.
to learn that the rules that were back home are not necessarily the same that they're going to be here. So in order to
Correct.
prepare, you need to be informed. So I have
Yes.
that side. And then from the other side, because I was only 9 when I came to Canada, most of my schooling I did do here.
Mhm.
And yet I graduated grade 12, and no one ever told us why we had to save for retirement. No one ever told us how to do taxes, why. We just know we have to do them, but
Yeah.
why and learn these things. So again, even though you might not be an immigrant, there's a lot of information that's not taught to people here.
Right.
And like I said, like yeah, like knowledge is power, and my
Mhm.
point is to educate people. And again, there's a lot of misinformation, and it's very important for people not to block themselves because
Mhm.
of what they hear, but to really do their own research and
Mhm.
find out what's best for them. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your future that hangs on the line. So it's
Yeah.
very important for you to be informed and not just follow with what your friend says or what this random person is telling you online. You have to look at it
Yes.
yourself.
Correct. Intelligently. Very intelligently. Well put. Well put. Thank you so much. Well said. Thanks, Maria. So yeah, welcome again, both of you. I'm really excited about having you talk to us and teach us today. And so, Ashok, you and I were talking the other day, and you mentioned the concept of financial house. So then I'm like, okay, financial house, I'm a real estate professional, realtor. So I know about building houses. So I know when you're building a house, you have the foundation, you have the walls, you have the framing, and all kinds of things, right? So I was intrigued about that financial house. So I did a bit of digging around. So I'd like for us to talk about that today. So I want you to spend some time today and teach us about the financial house. Okay. And just, feel free, say whatever needs to be said. But let me just kind of share with my listeners some of the things that they can Google. So I had actually Googled financial house, and I was surprised that there was a lot there. So when I Googled financial house image, there was all kinds of images all about financial house from different places, different shapes and sizes, and they all kind of have a recurring theme. So I know what you're gonna. I know you're gonna talk about the theme and how it's all built. But listeners, you can Google financial house, look at images, and listen along with what Ashok and Maria are going to teach us today. So it's all there in the internet. So like Maria said, don't take all the negative stuff from the internet. Take the positive stuff as well. This is really good stuff. So yeah, so Ashok, over to you now. Tell
Thank
me
you very
about the
much.
financial house.
Yes, I mean, like you mentioned, we look at a house. It's a nice symbol because we see it around us. Everybody lives in one. We know all about it. We know it has to start somewhere. And in order to make sure that the house is stable and you can actually build a house, you have to lay the foundation. And the foundation has to be solid. It has to be placed well so that the house will stay for many, many years to come. It will not fall over. It will not have damages, not structural damages. And, doesn't matter what area or in the world we live in, it has to be strong enough to also fight against, let's say, the natural things that occur, with if it's natural disasters or things like that. We want a strong house. We want
Yeah.
it to be there for many, many years. So if we look at it and we apply that same principle to our finances in the house, it is very important that we do the exact same thing and we build a good foundation for the family, for the financial house. And so by what that means is, if we look at one of the images that I know your viewers will be able to see, it starts at the very beginning. Everybody goes to school, everybody, they get education, and then they look for some type of career. So when you look for the career, that's like the first thing for the building block is you want to have some sort of income. You want to be able to, have some management, pay your debts. If you're buying things, you're buying different things. You have regular expenses for food and all those different kinds of things. You want to be able to pay for those. So you need to have an income in order to do that. But we know, that's just the bare minimum. What do we do after that now, once we have an income and we are paying our basic expenses to continue to live pretty much? So the next step in that building block is planning to protect ourselves. It comes immediately right after having just the basic income, because we need to make sure that that income does not stop. Because if that income stops, we cannot pay our bills, and then everything falls apart. So that structure is gone. That foundation is gone. So by protecting our income, protecting ourselves, that is many different things. It goes from, loss of income. It goes also, as far as loss of life. It also goes towards medical expenses. It goes, to a lot of different things such as disabilities or anything that can happen. You just want to make sure you are protected. Now that you're protected, you are in that mindset that, yes, okay, I'm going to work. If anything were to happen, I don't have work anymore, or I get injured, or something is going on, something happens in my family, somebody passes away, I can continue to pay my bills. So that's like
That's the
the
foundation.
base foundation. Yeah. So that's a lot of people, they look at it the wrong way because they think that income is all that's required. And from there on, you just start spending money. But there's so many things that happen in even things that are so unexpected you can never even think about it. For example, in 2018, 2017, did we ever think we're going to have COVID? We
No,
never thought we are going to go through that, right?
no,
That just came out of nowhere.
just came, just hit us in the eyeballs. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of individuals were not protected. A lot of them lost work, obviously, because COVID made such a big difference in the way businesses operated. There were a lot of layoffs, a lot of people got sick, a lot of things happened, and people were just handing in their keys for their homes, for their cars and everything because they can't pay it anymore.
Mm.
Everything got so expensive because COVID put so many restrictions on things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people realized in that moment, I should have probably looked at something so that I could have protected myself.
But
So
at that
that's why
point, I should
yeah.
have. Yeah. At that
Yeah,
point, it's too late, right?
exactly. When you get to that point, I mean, it's never too late, I say, right? It's the day you start is always the best day because you don't want to be
Yes.
late.
Yes.
But yes, it comes to a point where it's the same as, I mean, if I take this analogy, you're looking to protect somebody's life and the person passes away before you could do that. It's too
Yeah.
late,
Too late.
right? Things like that. You never know what happens. You want to make sure you're always ahead of it. You want to think ahead and say, hey, what can happen in the future? If something were to happen again, what can I do to make sure right now that I will be okay?
So, listeners, you heard Ashok. I know he has a lot more to say, but once you have income, the very step one, the very first step is to protect that income through various insurances. Thanks, Ashok. Yeah, please carry on. So after the foundation, then what next?
After the foundation, now we have the possibility where we can actually look at building assets. We can look at, with that extra income, after all expenses, the money that we're saving, what can we do with that money in order to build some type of estate? What can we do to plan for the future? That's when a lot of individuals then maybe go to that point of buying a home, or buying a condo. Some individuals also, obviously everybody needs a car, put some money investment in towards a vehicle if it's a new one or used one, but there's obviously financial responsibility with that. So you start placing your money in those things. And again, that if something was to happen with your income, you can continue paying those bills. And that's why that again brings us back to that's the most important thing. And by building an estate, you can also make sure that after that you're protecting all of those things when it comes, for your family, if you have kids, if you want to pass things on, or what happens with your assets. And once you have your assets, you look at the next step. What do you do with the rest of the money? Let's say your assets are doing well, you're making money, you have some more income that you can spend. That's when we look into investments.
Okay. Okay. I'm making notes as you speak, actually, because it's very interesting. And I'm going to have you talk about how this has helped you as a person, as a family, you and Maria. It's very interesting how most people I meet want to do the investments first, but they don't have the protection. They don't have insurance. So you're saying that the investments come way after you establish the insurance. Why is that? Like, tell me why that is.
Well, again, it brings us to the point. Let's say we have income, and for the end of the month, we think, hey, we have $500 left over, and we're going to invest that $500. Investments grow and reduce, over time. So it's a long-term investment. So it's not guaranteed where you can be like, oh, for sure, I will have this and I will make lots of money from it. You put that away, it's being invested, it's growing, it's fluctuating a lot, but it's something that you do for long term. However, that money, in a way, you are putting away for investment, and it's not for a rainy day. It's not as something that you can use afterwards for a rainy day.
Yeah.
If that money you spend on protecting yourself, first, let's say a portion of it, then no matter what was to happen, you have some protection to continue paying bills, also to continue paying all of your assets and pay investments. But if you do it the other way around, your investments will not be able to sustain you for much longer.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. I really like that. That's very impressive. Listeners, I hope everyone is taking notes. Very, very critical information here. So Maria, I know, I know you both are in business together. So tell me, how has this been beneficial to you as a couple, as a family?
I before learned about finances, I remember Ashok was talking about getting life insurance. And I'm
Mm,
going to be frank because I'm sure that some people will also agree. I thought, well, that's a stupid idea. Why are we putting money? Um, we might never use it. It's fine. We'll worry about the future when it comes.
yeah.
We don't need to spend money on that. We were buying a house
Mm,
and we needed money for other things. But then when you start learning, again, you start looking at what the rules are, what the future involves, and talking with other people. I
mm,
There's a lot of immigrants there too,
mm.
and their answer is, "Oh, I'm sure the government's gonna take care of me when I retire." And you look at that, and
Sorry.
then you do the research,
I'm
and
so
then
sorry.
yeah, you can go onto the Canadian government website to see exactly how much money people are getting. And then you wonder why there's older ones who should be resting, who should be enjoying their lives, and they're still working.
Yeah,
Because yes, the government will give you money, but it's not going to be enough money to survive. And then
yeah,
again, if anything was to happen to either of us, what happens to our house? If Ashok or I are to pass away, there's an income that's no longer there,
yeah.
and the government or the banks themselves are not going to be like, "Oh, Marie, I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, we'll wait for you. Don't worry. You figure everything out." No,
Here's a free house.
unfortunately, we live in a world where money comes first, feelings come last. So they want their money. They want to make sure
Yes.
that they're going to get paid. They don't
Yeah.
care what circumstances you're going through.
No.
And then the other thing too, I said, well, my work, I have insurance at my work. Why do we need extra? Well,
Mm,
there's two things. One, your insurance for work, look it up, see how much money you're getting. It's not that much. Two, it's also not your own insurance. If I were to switch jobs, I no longer have that. And if I
exactly.
were, obviously, I'm getting older. So if I were to reapply, it's going to be more expensive. So you
Yeah.
can't really rely that, keep it as an extra, have your own. There's different financial strategies of having your own um insurance so that you
Yeah.
can work what works best for you. Again, do the research, don't follow what people are saying because a lot of people don't know anything, or they know only a part and then they give you misconceptions and people are like, "Oh," and then you make assumptions. So just look at what you want, what works best for you and your circumstances, but just make sure that if anything happens to either one of you, that you're able to have your essential needs taken care of, that you have a home, that you're able to buy food, that you're able to take care of your family. And your insurance, it's what's going to do that.
That is so cool. I'm just, again, so excited just to hear you speak. I ran a recent, not my community ran a disability program recently. And yeah, a lot of people do have that misconception that because they have benefits at work, they're covered, which
Yeah.
is a big misconception, unfortunately. And I'm very happy with what you're doing because you're educating people that that's not an ideal solution. Good job. Good job. Yeah. Okay. So Ashok, you know that we ladies can take the conversation away, but let's give it back to you. I know you haven't finished building that house. So where are you at? You're on the walls, or what part of the house are you at now?
Oh, I would say I am probably at the point of, just finalizing putting the roof on, let's say.
The
Let's put it
roof.
that way. Everything
Okay.
else is
Yeah.
done. The roof is
Okay.
coming on and the house is ready to, be finished.
Okay. The roof is
But
coming and that was fast. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these steps go really fast. We had the foundation, we had the framing, we had, let's say, the electrical and plumbing. And now we're pretty much down to just building. I know that's not really how they build a house, but we're just going from bottom to the top.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah.
So finally, at the very end, after now you're putting some money into investments. Now you're looking at ways, okay, so what can I do now to maximize the return that I have, right? We know we have an income from the very bottom when we started. We are paying bills, we have some assets, we are protected, and we are now investing money. But obviously, what we want to do is, as financial planners, we want to maximize the income. So now comes tax planning. That's either personal or that's if you have a business. So there's two different things, and Canada's great for that because we have a lot of ways that we can take advantage of, taxes. We can make sure that we, can apply them properly. That's where we can see how we can actually put money towards something that will benefit ourselves, and we can get tax benefits from that. Same thing for the business. We have a lot of expenses, and you can strategically place them so that you can make sure you keep more of that income to yourself.
Right.
And now, again, we go through the cycle again, and that's when we reevaluate. Okay, are we now looking into purchasing more things with that extra income that we save now? Okay, does that mean we have to do so a little bit more of adding more protection or topping up? And then from there, okay, after that, do we invest more? And pretty much the cycle just continues.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a compounding situation where you reinvest your earnings.
Yes, exactly. I mean, also over time, when young family or young couple starts, if we talk about families or even individuals, when you start off young, you don't have much, right?
Yes.
You're just starting off very young. So at that point, you might say, hey, you know what? I just need very minimal protection that will suffice for what I have right now. But fast forward 10 years, things change. Now you maybe need double or triple of what you thought you needed back 10 years ago. Maybe now you already have a wife and kids, or maybe now you have added responsibilities, maybe of parents or other individuals. Now, you have to reevaluate. And that's what we like to do is on a yearly basis, reevaluate where's everybody at? Is everybody happy? Is everything good? Perfect. If not, then we can make the needed changes. Because, again, like Maria pointed out, if you wait too long, the cost for making those changes will be much higher than if you did that, let's say, a year, 2 or 3 before.
Yeah.
And there's nothing new. We know we're humans. We all age, and that's just the way it works. Based on age, things get more expensive. So we got to make sure. That's why we like to evaluate every year, so we can see if there's any needed changes need to be made. We can do them as quick as possible.
Correct. That's cool. Wow, see how time is flying away. I'm
Yes.
having so much fun and the time is just flying away. Wow. So, I know you just talked about young people and, them a strategy for helping young people. How about people who are new immigrants, for example, to Canada? They're not 9 years old like Maria was when she came. They're not 17 years old like you were when you came, but they are 50, right? So, and then they have nothing. They don't have any savings, no retirement plan, nothing. What advice would you give to those guys?
So for me, I would probably say that looking at your finances, because everything in our world runs on money, right? So no matter if we just arrived to Canada, just like when I did or when my parents did, at that age, many other relatives, finances is the number one thing that you need to look at in order to secure your future in whatever country or where you live. So as early as possible, to sit down with a financial advisor and really look and build a game plan is the best advice that I believe that you can give to someone, so that even if, let's say, when they just arrive, they're just getting things started, but at least they know, hey, this is what I need to do. This is where I need to be. So once they get there, let's put things into place and let's secure their future. Doesn't matter at what age that really is. I mean, we have a client who is almost at retirement age, and
Mhm.
now is looking at, what am I going to do to protect myself or my family now that I'm going to retire, because I won't be able to have the same income anymore.
Mhm.
So doesn't matter the age, it is always the best, if you do not know, or even if you think you're well, have a second opinion.
Yes.
Have a review and get a second opinion, because things change even in the financial industry. There's new products, new plans, there's maybe new, better ways of doing things. So
Mhm.
always have a second opinion.
Yes. And that's a wrap, because times are running. You know what? Maybe one of these days you can come back and share some more things, because this is very juicy information you're giving us. Very nice conversation. So once again, thank you so much, Ashok and Maria, for being here. Maria, do you have any last 1 minute advice before
Remarks.
we
Yeah.
wrap things up?
The only thing is, well, like Ashok said, like, go get a second opinion, but also keep in mind that not everyone's financial plan is going to be the same. Just because your
Correct.
friend or your family member has something that works for them, it might be different. Like you were saying,
Mm,
if somebody comes on a older age, um their plan's going to look different than maybe what our plan is, but it's
mm,
something that's going to work for them. So you really need to have somebody who, one, is experienced, and
mm,
two, knows what's best for you, so that it benefits the most for you. So like every financial plan is going to be different.
mhm,
It needs to tailor to your needs, what
mhm.
you have. And yeah, so get that second opinion, get yourself protected. You want to make sure that your house doesn't get blown away. And
Yes.
yeah, be ready for the future to enjoy those retirement years.
Wonderful. Thank you so, so much. Okay, Ashok, I know in the Indian culture, we give the man the last say. So you get the last say, sir.
So for me, I guess closing remarks, I would say, everything that was brought up, it's a quick review of, how to secure your financial life, so to say, or your house. But obviously there's so many things that play a role. There's
Yeah,
so many different things that also change in a person's life.
yeah.
So again, like Maria said, just have an open mind, go speak to someone, get an opinion, get a good plan for yourself, so that you can make sure you can move forward. And again, finances, it's something that we just need. That's
Mm,
how we live, and so that's not something that we should take lightly. So take it
awesome.
serious and really spend your time and really dive into that.
Awesome. And with that, thank you one more time. And again, to our listeners, you've heard everything. I'm going to share one more time Ashok and Maria's Instagram page. Okay, that's the Financial House Instagram page right here. Follow and take a look at everything that they have there. And if you want to meet them in person, come see me and I'll take you to them, because I see them almost every day. Okay, so these are up and coming multimillionaires, and I'm really, really privileged to know them. So yeah, thanks again, Ashok. Thanks again, Maria. God bless you. Bye, listeners.
Yeah. Thank you, Rose. We appreciate the time, and we also appreciate you having us here.
Awesome. God bless you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.